Hello, today I'm going to show you how to complete the provider type page of your application in the Provider Management module for Vermont Medicaid. The provider type page of the application is tailored to the enrollment type and provider type that you have selected. So your page may not look exactly like my page today. For example, if you're an individual provider, you're only going to be presented with CLIA information. Or if you are a DME provider, you're only going to be presented with the DME POS section. So it's just dependent upon what enrollment type and provider type you are enrolling as today. So, if this information is applicable to you, you're going to want to fill it out. But there are some instances, again, for maybe an individual provider where you don't have a CLIA. And so this information on this page is not applicable to you. And if that's the case, that's perfectly fine. You're just going to hit save and continue to move on. If something is required for your provider type and you haven't filled it out, it will stop you and you will need to fill out that information. But again, if it doesn't apply to you, this is not all required information all of the time, so you'll just hit save and continue. But if this information is applicable to you, you're going to want to make sure to fill it out completely. I'm going to start by filling out my CLIA today. I'm going to do so by hitting the Create New button on the right-hand side to open up a new window. I'm first going to enter in my CLIA number. And this CLIA number field is configured to understand the format of a CLIA. So you just want to make sure that you're filling out the CLIA number exactly as it's listed on your CLIA certificate. If it's not in the correct format, it's going to recognize that and it will error out and stop you. Next, I'm going to select from the drop-down list for my CLIA type. And then I'm going to enter in my effective and end dates for my CLIA certificate. I'm going to click Save. And now I have an entry. If you have additional CLIA information to report, you'll simply do the same thing, hit Create New, and enter in the next certificate. Under that, I have a section here for my specific provider type and enrollment type for bed information, and that's because I'm enrolling as a hospital today, so I'm going to need to provide this bed information. In order to do so, I'm going to click on Create New in the bed information section. I'm first going to select from the drop-down list the bed type. There's many different choices here, so you may have more than one bed type to report. That's okay. You'll just do this process more than once. And I'm going to select emergency room beds for today. I'm going to enter in the number of beds that I have at my facility. I'm going to enter in an effective date, which is going to be, for me, the effective date of my enrollment. And then an end date. And if you don't have an end date, it's okay to enter in what we consider the end of time as 12/31/9999. I'm going to click Save to satisfy the requirement for the bed information. And again, you may then want to report the regular beds that you have, so you just hit Create New again and move on with the next entry. Lastly, I am being presented with the DME POS section of the application. So if you're a DME provider, you are going to be required to enter in your Medicaid or Medicare surety bond information. So you'll just want to make sure to enter in your surety bond number either under Medicaid or Medicare or both, depending upon your certain situation, and enter in the effective and end dates of those surety bonds. There is a section here for accrediting organization. So if this applies to you, you just want to make sure to use the drop-down list, select the appropriate accrediting organization, and the effective and end dates for that entry. Once you've entered in all of the necessary information for your enrollment type and provider type, you're ready to hit save and continue and move on with your application.